Shri Gauri Vaishnava Guru Parampara ki jai, Gaur Nityananda ki jai, Shri Gaur Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Radha Gopal ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Bindu ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Good evening. So tonight we'll talk a little bit about Shiva Tattva, short, hopefully, and cause we're going a little too long, and we'll entertain questions. That isn't to say that it's not a big subject. Shiva Tattva is considerable. Our concern with it is narrows down the field a little bit. Shiva, that means to say, is of concern throughout almost all of Hinduism. He's showing up in one way or another. So, on account of that, it's difficult to sort out who he is, who's the root of Shiva, and so on and so forth. But of course, we're blessed by our founding acharyas, the Goswamis, who Srinivasa Acharya has feelingly described as very compassionate persons who, with compassion for the jivas in mind, researched thoroughly the sacred texts, Nana Shastra Vicharanaikanibbano Saddharma Samstapako Yoganam Mitaparam Tribhuvanam Ushanayakaro. And they extracted from this the essential and really coherent message of what Sri Dharma sometimes described as a jungle of sounds. To speak of Shiva, the whole thing is like a jungle of sounds, to the extent, for example, that I believe it's often thought in academia that there's no coherent, message in all these sacred books of the Hindus. There's different, diverse, contradictory statements. Of course, that's the purpose of the sutras of Vyasa, is thought to show the concordance of the Upanishads and so forth. But as I say, we're fortunate the Goswamis have done that, and they've really done what Narada told Vyasa to do, that resulted in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that he's spoken in so many ways without emphasizing in no uncertain terms the importance, efficacy of an essential role of bhakti, if the jiva is to attain its freedom, and beyond that, beyond moksha, its highest prospect in prema, whether it be Aishvarya prema or Madhurya, reverential or sweet and intimate. So, saying this, as you know, to Vyas, Vyas sat under the instruction of Narada and meditated, and he came out of his meditation, and the samadhi bhashya, the language of samadhi, is what we have in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, is mature work. And so, as I'm saying, the Goswamis, they kind of, in the same spirit, they took the Bhagavatam and pulled out of the Bhagavatam what the coherent messages. The other day, someone, I think it was Gauravani Das, he sent me an article which was a review of a book written by a devotee scholar, an academic scholar who was a devotee, and it was a book about biology and Hinduism and how kind of mapping out, I had read it some time ago, mapping out possible ways in which modern science could interface with Hinduism in today's world, and improve their, I guess would be their picture of the nature of reality, or at least have tried to pay some attention to a huge religious sector of the world, India. It's mostly Christians arguing with the scientists and so forth, the atheists. So it was a good book. I thought it was well done. But anyway, this reviewer said that, like, first of all, he said, well, it's really not about Hinduism. It's about the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's really not about the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's about what the Gaudiya people think the Srimad Bhagavatam is about. And I kind of chuckled, because I thought, come on, let's talk about it. Right? Let's look at the Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami, where he brings out in a very compelling way that the idea that the Bhagavad has a cohesive, coherent message and thrust, drawing out, as he does so, arguments that others might use to say, really, it's about Advaita Vedanta over here. Kaivalyam, Prayojanam, Kaivalyam. For example, this is something to that effect in the 12th canto. And the Prayojan is Kaivalyam. Kaivalyam, of course, is a word often used by the monists, by Shankar and so forth. So somebody reads the verses. So here it's talking about Advaita, over here it seems to be talking about Bhakti. It's just a jumble, again, or a jungle of sounds. And so Jiva Goswami takes those types of statements that would seem to support the lack of coherence in the Bhagavatam and demonstrates how it's just the opposite, drawing out other meanings from Kaivalya, demonstrating that it means love also, or something like that. In a very sophisticated way, in a very compelling way, he makes the case, of course, in the Sandarbhas, for the Bhagavatam itself being the center of the sacred texts, which is what Hinduism derives from. And then what is the message of the Bhagavatam? I mean, the insight that he had, it's just like, it's like, where's my hat? Where's my hat? And somebody says, it's on your head, Marsh. Oh yeah. Something like that. Like I've asked you for a towel, he said, it's right there. So the way he says, well, what's the Bhagavatam about? How will we know? Well, let's ask the author. What does he say? And he goes to the history of the Bhagavat's manifestation as it's recorded in the Bhagavatam itself. In the 7th chapter, and Sudha Goswami is explaining the trance of Vyas. How Vyas, as I say, under the inspiration of Narada, went into trance and samadhi with a express purpose of coming out and writing something that in no uncertain terms emphasized the efficacy and essential role of bhakti in the jiva's attaining freedom and love, in the full sense of these terms. So, I mean, it's like nobody ever thought of it like that. But when you hear it, you go, well, that's a good idea. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. What Vyasa entered into trance, he came out. He describes his trance in several verses, what he experienced there, how he saw Bhagavan and his Swarup Shakti. He saw the Maya Shakti. He saw the Jiva Shakti suffering under the influence of the Maya Shakti. He saw the remedial measure to the jiva's plight in the form of bhakti and so forth. And so that's what the book's about. You get kind of a nutshell Chinti Beta Beta there, arguably. So anyway, it's very masterful, and no one has paid as much attention to the Bhagavad as the Gaudiyas, because no other sampradaya accepts it to the same extent. I mean, it is much appreciated by Vallabha, of course, by Nimbarka. These are Ragmarg sampradayas also. It is the very heart, really, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I chuckled and thought, yeah, it is about Hinduism, and the Bhagavatam is about what Hinduism is really about, and the Gaudiyas is really what the Bhagavatam is really about. We can make a good case for that, fairly objective case. We're ready to meet the challenge, if you will. So we're blessed that the task of assimilating and understanding or deriving the essential message out of the sacred text of the Hindus, which is varied only in that it's talking to different types of psychologies and suggesting different types of worship for them that will bring them all ultimately in the same direction, or toward to moksha, and which there are basically two types: with form or without form, and thus and different types of mukti, moksha with form. Brahma Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, Narayan Bhakti, and so forth. So a variegated transcendence. Anyway, we're lucky to have the Goswami. So with regard to Shiva, which is somebody who's appearing here, there, and everywhere, has his own Purana, Shiva Purana, appears in the Bhagavatam. He's everywhere. And so how to put him all together, so to speak, and understand him in an essential way. And that, of course, for us, relative to our pursuit of Braj Bhakti. And, of course, they've taken Goswamis, Sri Jiva Goswami, our Tattvacharya, has taken us to Sri Brahma Samhita, a beautiful book, the fifth chapter of which was recovered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his tour of South India. And when returning to Puri, he said, all the Siddhanta can be found in this book. Obviously, all the things we talk about are not entirely found in the book, but what he means by that is Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami, which is the refrain from verse 29 onward, for the most part, of the text, where Brahma is glorifying Govinda, having described his abode, Goloka, and how from there the world comes about and so forth. He begins to glorify Govinda, Gopeshwara Krishna, Govinda Dev, Gopal Dev, and that glorification largely in relation to other manifestations of divinity. So, in relation to Brahma, in relation to Ganesh, in relation to Durga, in relation to Shiva, etc. And so, if you look at it carefully, you can see, oh, it's saying Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, which is the Paribhas Sutra of the Bhagavatam, the key, the password to understanding the tattva of the Bhagavatam. As I've often said, the bhava arises out of the tattva. So we got to get the tattva. If you get the tattva right, as Krishna says in the Gita, and I cited this maybe this morning, Aham sarvasya prabhu matasavam bhavartate iti mat bhavadam te mam buddha bhava samandita. If you want to do buddha bhava samandita, raga bhava samandita, the kind of worship that the Gaudiyas are about, you have to have the if you want to give unconditional love of God, engage in that, and give without reservation, without expectation of return, wholeheartedly, completely, then you have to have a source that can take completely. And of course, that is Krishna Rasaraj, right? He can take all kinds of love in ways that the other divinities cannot. And in this way, we have ascertained his position in the kingdom of love, of God, which is the real world, takes the position of the fountainhead. The fountainhead of all forms of divinity, the very heart of the body of divinity. Can we get a little light in here? Okay. You haven't turned on your effulgences sufficiently. Losing sight of it. So, therefore Mahaprabhu said the tattva is found here. This essential key point of the tattva. Krishna is the center. Krishna is the complete and supreme taker. He's the stomach of the body of reality, and if you want to feed and nourish all the parts, that's where to put food. He's the root of the tree of existence. So, we find this in the book, and we find a verse about Mahadev Shiva, the tattva of Shiva. It's a good place to start. And there he's described as something like yogurt in comparison to milk. With an additive, milk becomes yogurt. Now, Jiva Goswami in his commentary explains that Shiva is not really a transformation of Vishnu or Krishna. Like yogurt could be considered a transformation of milk. But he is like what happens, well, he's the analogy, the comparison of yogurt to milk is with regard to the outcome, the addition of things. There's Vishnu with an addition of things that constitutes Shiva. So, what is the addition of things? Vishnu, he is Vishnu combined with a little bit of Hladini and Samvit. These are two of the three elemental constituents of the Swarup Shakti. Hladini means feeling, ananda, love. And Samvit means knowing. So, our bhakti, when it's mature, will be constituted of who stand on the ground of Sandhini, pure existence, Sudasattva, and be made up of a particular combination of Samvit and Hladini. According to the Samvit, according to the knowing, I know myself as a friend of Krishna. I know myself as a handmaiden of Radha. And the Hladini will be slightly different. And will develop relative to, up to Mahabhav, up to short of that, if it's Vatsalya Bhakti, so on and so forth. So, a little bit of Hladini and Samvit, part of his composition. Vishnu with this, with a little bit of Tamaguna and a little bit of Jiva Tattva. This is Shiva. This is a complex fellow. Complex divinity. So, given these constituents, then, that make up the Shiva, we can understand easily, readily, how he plays out in different ways. For example, even in the Bhagavatam, he's Rudra. I don't know, there's several of them. Are there 9 of them or something like that? 11 Rudras. So this is a particular manifestation of Shiva, that the Jiva can become that Shiva. So he has a little bit of Tatastha Shakti in his constitution. There's the Rudra side, that the jiva can become a Rudra. How he become a Rudra? It's said that if you, and this reminds me of a point we raised this morning, if you practice varnashram perfectly for 100 lifetimes, you can become a Brahma. Now, that is to become a Brahma by way of karma, the karma marg. You could also become a Brahma through Gyan marg. You could also become a Brahma through bhakti marg, as in the case of Gopakumar, for example. He became a Brahma in the context of bhakti marg. So there are different Brahmas. One can attain the post of Brahma, I should say, by different methods. So the method to attain the position of Brahma, post of Brahma, by karma, is a perfect execution of varnashram for 100 lifetimes. So you can imagine Brahma is a pretty pious person. He's called Vidhi. He knows the rules. Vidhi means rules. He's like the personification of doing it right. From a dharmic point of view. That's why when he saw Krishna doing it wrong, his own guru, who had appeared to him at the dawn of creation in Gopal Vesh, Gopa Vesh, dressed as a Gopa, with the Gyan Mudra, blessing him with the mantra and giving him initiation. When the next time he saw him eating rice and yogurt out of his left hand and putting it in the mouths of his friends and having them put food in his mouth from their mouths, they would taste it and they would think, oh, this is the best piece, I'll give that to Krishna. Oh, this piece is second best, I'll give that to my friends. This piece is third best, I'll take that for myself. And so he saw these cowherds look like his guru, but he was not acting properly, it wouldn't seem, in an embarrassing kind of way. So Krishna is appearing again in his life as a sadhaka, to further enlighten him about the sanskar for which he received at the time of initiation. We find in the 9th chapter of the 2nd canto of the Bhagavatam, he received impressions for Sakyarasa, very clearly stated in the text of the Bhagavatam. So, this is the head of our sampradaya. We have to play some place for it. In the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya sampradaya. So, of course, this is the Agasura Leela, the beginning of Krishna's cowherding life. And so he sees him again and sees what that Sakyarasa is all about. And it's bewildering to him. But he gets good instruction through the example of Krishna, without saying a word to him. But you can become a Brahma by karma, and as I'm explaining, if you perfectly execute varnashram for 100 lifetimes, so how you become a Rudra. That is, if 100 lifetimes is Brahma, you perfectly execute the life of the Brahma, I guess, without getting distracted, you can become a Rudra, it's said. So the jiva can become a Shiva, because Shiva Tattva has a little Tatastha Shakti in it. And then it has a little Tamagun, as I mentioned. So then we find a manifestation of Shiva who's presiding over the Tamaguna, who has those Tamaguna associates that Daksha didn't want him to come to the party. If you bring him to the party, to the sacrifice, he'll bring all those weird people. All the Bhutas and Pretas and all the Tamaguna people. So there's this side of Shiva. And then he's Vishnu. So in the form of Sadashiva, he has then much to do with the manifestation of the world, the creation. And of course that takes us to the Hladini and the Samvit that are part of his composition that makes him a Vaishnava. Vaishnavanamritashambhu. How does it take us there? Because, well, in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, that Sadashiva appears in the world as Advaitacharya. Sriman Advaitacharya Vijay. Then he brought Mahaprabhu to the world with his puja. Therefore, Vaishnavanamritashambhu. Right? He must be the greatest Vaishnava. He brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the world by his puja. He brought Krishna on the bank of the Ganga. So for us, then, the most important side is we're not too concerned about the Rudra or the Tamaguna side. The creation, the Srishti Leela part, we have something that's concerned with that. We're involved in it. We have to understand it somewhat to come out of it, to understand the dispensation within it that's been afforded us, as I say, through Advaita's call, through his puja, bringing, as he did, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the world. But there are obviously further manifestations of Shiva as devotee. We should mention that Narada Muni was searching for the highest devotion in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, in the first canto of the text. And when he got to Shivalok there, he said, "Oh Shiva, you are the best devotee." He was meditating on Sankarshan, doing kirtan madly and so forth. And after he profusely glorified Shiva, Shiva plugged his ears and said, "What are you talking about? I have no devotion. I'm not the best devotee. I'm hardly a devotee at all. I've done this, I've done that," talking about what I've done as my Tamaguna side, my Rudra side. How in Leela I fought with Krishna. That's actually a higher thing. We have to come to that. I allowed Krishna to worship me. Ram worshipped me. Going to Lanka. What kind of devotee am I? So he, like this, protested. He protested. And then he said, if you want to speak to a devotee, go to Prahlad. But as we'll see, actually Shiva's devotion surpasses that of Prahlad. Let me give an example, a few examples. When Narada went to Prahlad and said, "Oh, you're the greatest devotee," Prahlad said, "What are you talking about? I'm not a devotee at all." And he pointed to Hanuman, right? So Narada went to Hanuman. And who's Hanuman? Hanuman is another manifestation of Shiva. So now Shiva is above Prahlad. And from Hanuman he went to the Pandavas. Among the Pandavas is Bhima. And he's a manifestation of Shiva. Interestingly, when we come to Bhima, we think of Vayu, we think of Shiva, we think of who? As Gaudiyas. Madhva. It's the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Madhva is thought to be a combined form of Hanuman and Vayu, Bhima. So it's pretty ironic in this sense. Madhva is a manifestation of Shiva, in whose Sampradaya they say a mantra every time they pass urine. I'm passing urine on Shiva. He is a manifestation of Shiva. In other words, Shiva appeared in the world as Shankar, it's thought, and preached a non-devotional ideology, worldview, stored at the Vedas and so forth. And Madhva's main dialectic adversary in his theistic dialect and debates was with Shankar's monism. Shankar advocated Advaita, and what is the advocacy of Madhva? Dvaita, just the polar opposite. Non-dualism, dualism. Of course, Madhva's a great devotee, and so you see what secrets you uncover in Gaudiya Vaishnavism about everybody. He's fighting against Shiva, but actually he's in some way a manifestation of Shiva, even. Gaudiya Vaishnavism is harmonizing all these things. Therefore the Gaudiyas, they'll go into the Shiva temple, and Madhva's won't, and so forth. I don't know if that mantra came from Madhva, probably not, probably come later on down the, just like Prabhupada said, these God brothers, they're all bell ringers. Once. They're doing nothing for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He expressed his frustration in the microphone. It happens sometimes. And then his disciples practically have written mantras against them. Well, never see their face. If you see their face, jump in the Ganges. It's kind of like that. Unfortunately. So things can break down as time goes on. And the disciples could pick fights that would cause their founders to roll over in their samadhi if they were aware of it. And they are aware, so take care not to do that. So then we go on from Bhima and the Pandavas, and Narad's search goes up to Uddhava and Dwarka, and Uddhava, of course, has acquaintance with the Braj, because he was sent there by Krishna to deliver a message to the inhabitants and to the gopis, and so he knows, you're looking for bhakti, go to Vrindavan. There you find the gopis' love. And where do we find, what do we find there? In the gopis' love that's showcased in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Rasa Panchadhyaya, the 5 chapters of the Rasa Leela. This is the Supreme Leela. The Rasa Leela, the Supreme Leela. It's a Supreme Leela because it is the consummation of the romantic relationship between Krishna and Radha, Krishna and the gopis. Given it's a hidden one, it's in the forest, so but it's a coming out and full acknowledgement. There's a partial acknowledgement during the Gopi Vastrahar Leela when Krishna stole their clothes. He said, we'll finish this later. That's Rasa Leela. And it's also a Supreme Leela in that the Madhurya Rasa ideal is the highest ideal in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and the Rasa Leela during the Sart Purnim, showcased in the Bhagavatam, if you study it carefully, you'll see, through the eyes of the Goswamis, it is a portal. It's an entry. There's an entry there. You can enter into Madhurya Rasa there. So it's inviting. You can enter there. Some gopis came, they couldn't join the rasa dance. And that separation, they're newcomers, they're sadhanasiddhas. They came for that. And not being able to enter by separation, they became qualified. Later, in the Uddhava Gita section of Bhagavatam, we find them again. They didn't die. If they died, then the Rasa Leela couldn't have gone on. Some gopis died, they couldn't come. It would have been the end of the party. Would have been Rasa Vas. So you have to study the language of the Bhagavatam very carefully through the commentaries of the Goswamis to understand these points. Again, as I said, Vyas brought out bhakti in no uncertain terms in the Bhagavatam, and the Goswamis brought out the essence of bhakti, the bhakti of bhaktis, in their commentaries on the Bhagavatam. So, When we go to Vrindavan, and we go to the gopis, and we go to the Rasa Leela, and if you want to get in, who are you going to meet at the gate? You're going to meet Shiva there. He's got a little bit of Ladini and a little bit of Sambit. You can't quite get in the Rasa Leela, but he's posted at the gate. This is Gopishwar. Somewhere it's written that out of the left side of Krishna, Radha is manifest. Out of the right side is Gopishwar. He's the Mool Mahadev, the root of all these different forms of Shiva. And the fullest sense of Shiva as a Vaishnava, which is, again, our particular concern with regard to Mahadev. And not only is he at the gate there, in linga form, now you can see him, but in other linga forms he's strategically situated throughout the Dham as the Kshetrapal, the protector of the Dham. If we want to look at Shiva in terms of Shiva's bhakti, in terms of Shiva being the kind of Vaishnava that the Bhagavatam concludes saying, Vaishnavani Mata Shambhu. As the Bhagavat is the best of the Puranas, as the Ganga is the best of the rivers, so Shiva is the best of the Vaishnavas. How we do that? How we plumb the depths of that? You know, Parvati, she asked Shiva, what's the highest kind of worship? And he said, worship of Vishnu is the highest. Aradhanam Savisham, Vishnu Aradhanam Param. And when Devi heard that, she was a little disappointed because she was a worshipper of Shiva. And understanding her reaction, he said, however, Tadiyanam Samachanam, who is the worshipper of Vishnu, he is higher. He worships the worshipper. The worship of Vishnu is the highest, but he who worships the worshipper of Vishnu is even higher. And then she was happy because she knew, my husband, he's always meditating on Vishnu. Right? So if we want to understand the devotion of Shiva for Vishnu, we should maybe look at someone who's devoted to Shiva. Who in our sampradaya of significance was most devoted to Shiva? Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Wow. You can't get any more important than that. In Gaur Leela, amongst those who have been selected by Mahaprabhu and commissioned to be the principal revealers and distributors of his ecstasy and reality, Rup, Sanatan, Jiva Goswami, the founding acharyas of the Sampradaya, Sanatan in Gaur Leela, he's the leader. He's the elder to whom Rupa defers in his great works. The oldest, and what was his understanding of the Bhagavatam? The original Gaudiya commentary on the Bhagavatam, Shri Vaishnava Toshani Vijay. And he wrote it for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas, Sanatana Goswami. Sitting, as he used to with so many Brahmins, studying the Bhagavatam, couldn't attend to his government duties, got him in trouble. Studying the Bhagavatam got him in big trouble with the law. He broke the law to study the Bhagavatam. I broke the law to distribute the Bhagavatam a few times. So some of you have maybe had as well. He broke the law to study the Bhagavatam. And the Bhagavatam protected him. Right? The Bhagavatam brought him under the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he wrote the first Gaudiya commentary on Bhagavatam. And you should understand, the Gaudiya commentaries on the Bhagavatam, I mean, the Bhagavatam is about the Braj Leela, so the Bhagavatam is regularly recited in Braj, and you can't do a recital of the Bhagavatam without reference to Vaishnava Tosani, to Sartha Darshani, to Vishnu's commentary, sometimes thought to be a reincarnation of Rupa Goswami, to Jiva Goswami's commentary. These Gaudiya commentaries, it's clear in Braj that they knew the Bhagavatam. If like Jiva Goswami writes in his Sandarbhas, I offer my respect to Rupa and Sanatan, who are glorified in Mathura. It's one thing to be a glorious devotee, but to be a glorious devotee in Mathura, where everybody's a liberated devotee, that's special. And the leader that refers to Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami was very attached to the worship of Mahadev in Braj. When he lived in Vrindavan, when he was residing in Vrindavan near Madan Mohan, even in his old age, Munda Baba, as he was called, shaved-headed Baba. I love the story, when he disappeared from the world on Guru Purnim. This comes in like July every year, Guru Purnim. And in some ways he's the original guru of Gaudiyas. You take aside Gaur and Nityananda. And he used to always keep his head shaved. That's why I shaved my head. Of course, you have to take it down the line. When I first had a conversation with some devotees about that, before my head was shaved, I said, why do you shave your heads then? I mean, we were talking about the philosophy, but I had to be told, I had to ask, why do you take a cold shower? Okay, I got it. Why do you shave your heads? And the answer I got from one of my governors, his name is Nabiyova, and he said, because Prabhupada does that. Now that's kind of not a good explanation, but I thought, that's a good explanation. They love him. They love him. You have to have a guru, you should have a guru that you love. I love him, therefore she should be my guru. So I thought it was a great answer. He could have said, well, you shave your head because this technical and the Sika is here, and the chakra is there, and you go out here, and Vishnu can pull you this way, and all these things. But he just said, because Prabhupada does. And I just thought, wow, that's just great. Give me the scissors, go for it. I just thought that was so charming, so beautiful, compelling. And when Sanatana Goswami left the world in Braj, it said, every man, woman, and child shave their head. Say, we follow him. That's such a command of the theology, the philosophy, such an example of that, and such a human being. You have to understand, such a human being he was. Such a full human being. People would come to Sanatana with petty arguments from the village. Whatever he would say, they would go with that. He would give counsel as, if he would walk through the villages, when he would arrive, there's Munda Baba, and the children would come, run to him, and hold his hand. And he had a great attachment for Shiva. So we should go to Shiva through Sanatana Goswami. He used to go daily when he was staying in Vrindavan near Madan Mohan temple to have the darshan of the Gopishwar. But it said as he got older and older, then Gopishwar was disturbed by to think about the effort that it must have taken Sanatana Prabhu to come the distance So he told him, don't come here anymore, you're too old. But Sanatan could not give up the idea. And so he kept coming. So then Gopeshwar appeared to him in a dream and said, okay, enough of this. You can come halfway. So he went halfway, and there was a new manifestation. What is it called? Another Maha. You have Gopeshwar Mahadev and another lingam of Shiva. I forget his name. It's halfway between Managasa. So then he only walked halfway every day. And then, of course, he used to circumambulate in Braj and Govardhan. When he was at Govardhan, he would take shelter of Chakreshwar Mahadev, the linga there. When he went to the outskirts, like Kamivan, of the rural aspect of Braj, which includes the whole mandal of Mathura, which is metropolitan nature, but at the Kamivan, then he would take shelter of Kameshwar Mahadev. So wherever he went, there was a Shiva. And then he would set up this place for bhajan there and take shelter of him. So he was very attached to Shiva, and of course, as you know, it is from Shiva and the Shiva Purana that we get the information from Scripture about Manjari Upasanam. How to worship as a Manjari. No wonder he liked Shiva. No wonder Sanatana was attached. What was his conception of Shiva? How was he thinking? There, within the context of the Shiva Purana, I think there's like 59 chapters of what's an Agama, dealing with worship and ritual and so forth. And there, the worship, the Manjari Upasana, the worship of the Manjari, how the Manjari, the age of the Manjari, her service, and mantras corresponding and so forth. All this comes from Shiva. And it is, within the Shiva Purana, it's the Sanat Kumar Samhita. And Sanatana Goswami, of course, is said to be a partial manifestation, incarnation of Sanat Kumar. Complicated, huh? And of course, it was the Kumaras, led by Sanat Kumar, who received the Bhagavatam. Just like Brahma received the Bhagavatam in seed form, in 4 verses, the Chatur Shlok of the Bhagavatam from Brahma. The Bhagavatam tells of another revelation of its significance. The Kumaras received the essential message of the Bhagavatam from Sankarshan, who's the deity of Shiva, who Shiva is meditating on. And of course these Kumaras are very central to what? The Nimbarka Sampradaya. They're the fountainhead of the Nimbarka Sampradaya. And Rupa Goswami writes about them too. What did Rupa Goswami say about those Kumaras? You don't know. Radhe Jai Jai Madhava. You know it? At the end of this prayer he says, and the 4 Kumaras, they're worshipping her. They're worshipping her. We find them also in Gopal Tapani Upanishad, which is arguably, it was about the worship of Gopal. You can't worship him without worshiping Radha. So these are some thoughts about Shiva, his significance for us. We try to look at him a little bit through the eyes of Sanatana Goswami, how he's represented as a devotee, and as a devotee in Braj. He's a devotee in other places as well. And one other way, I should say also, that he's present in the Braj, come to mind, is that he's there as Nandishwar Hill, the hill on which Nanda Baba's house is residing. You know, you have Govardhan, you have Barshana, there's a hill and Radharani's house is there, and Nanda Maharaj's house on a hill. So you have Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. Brahma is the hill for Radharani's house, and Shiva, the hill for Nanda Maharaj's house, where in Nandagram there are many, of course, Shakiras Leelas there. That's where the great Krishnadas Babaji retired and was placed into samadhi. Sakiras, devotee of disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Nandagram. So this is where Shiva then manifests as the hill in Nandagram to participate in the Sakiras Leelas. You know that it's mentioned in another Purana somewhere, cited by Kavi Karnapur, when he's talking about Advaita Acharya, right? Is it Advaita Acharya? He says that he is the Sadashiva, who manifesting also as a cowherd boy in Braj. So, without giving a name, so somewhere there in Nandagram, being in the hill wasn't enough. He had to actually take part in Sakya-rasa and take part in Madhurya-rasa. Of course, Jiva Goswami describes him, Rupa Goswami, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, as a devotee in a broader sense, in Dasya-ras mixed with Sakya. Some type of Sankul. Bundling, I should say. It's a bundling of rasas, not a mixing. So, as you can see, we have a lot of reasons to worship Lord Shiva. For those of you who are interested in that, we have a mantra given to us that's very popular amongst the Gaudiyas in general and in our Paribar in particular. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he established his temples for Radha, Krishna and Mahaprabhu, he also had a little shrine just outside the temple for the worship of Gopishwar. So in order to enter into the circle of Radha and Krishna, you had to go through Gopishwar and get his blessings. So he taught his disciples this verse. If you want it, I'll give it to you. You'll have to come and talk to me. And then you can worship Mahadev Shiva Ki Jai, Gopishwar Ki Jai. So, a few words on Shiva. Any questions? Yes.
Does Shiva have some special mission in Krishna Lila or in Raj?
Does he have a special mission in Krishna Lila? Well, as Advaita, he has a mission in Gaur Lila. Well, in Krishna Lila, he has a mission to protect the Dham. Pala means to protect. So Chetra means the field, the Dham. So he's the protector of the Dham. He's the protector of the Rasa Lila, so that so that you can't break in. He's kind of like the bouncer. You know what a bouncer is? He's a bouncer. That's his mission. But his mission is to, he's a Vaishnava, so his mission is to help those who want to enter into Braj Bhakti, to assist them. Whether it's as a Gopa or as a Gopi, he's there to help us. That's every Vaishnava's mission, every Gaudiya Vaishnava's mission. What else?
Isn't Sanatana Goswami's Bhajan Kutir also by Nanda?
It's the same place.
Oh, the same.
Yeah, he has Bhajan Kutirs in different places, so like he has it near Madan, but there too. Madan Mohan there. Yeah, so wherever, as I was saying, wherever his places of worship were, there would be a manifestation of Shiva there as well. What else? Anything else? So
I was not clear on the connection with Vayu there, or Hanuman, because isn't Hanuman a manifestation of Vayu?
yeah, they say Shiva too. Depends who you talk to, but yeah, Gaudiyas say that. So did you have a nice day today? Beautiful day here, Polish countryside. What now, tomorrow do we have class too, or tomorrow are you going?
Tomorrow in the evening.
In the evening tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
And we are going on trip.
Pardon me?
And we are going on trip.
Tomorrow in the morning you're going on a trip?
Yes.
Okay. To the mountains.
Yes.
That's where Shiva lives, in the mountains. Okay. Very nice to sit with you all. Mahadev Shiva ki jai. Gaur Nityananda ki jai. Gauri Vaishnava Guru Parampara ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande.